it's easy to understand, but it is important to understand who is the first who must change, and it's me. It's you, is the person which we look at in the mirror. You know, I have a little trouble with the term ESG. It's very unspecific, and it is part of SDG goals, we can say. There are 17 of those, but very few knows there are 182 sub-goals. Instead of one, try to follow 17 goals, not speaking about 182. How much you will reach. In Industry 5.0, we follow just one, and this is to build wasteless world for all. Of course, we do it with the same principles, but the interesting part was that Industry 5.0 principles and started before SDG goals has been named. So I think that environmental thinking and acting, which is more important than thinking, can bring the companies closer to the people, not only consumers, but people in general. They can make them stronger because they will not be have behind the negative and dirty environmental impact. And they can help them to prevent waste and wasting happen in all these 5 types of waste. So I think implementing the Industry 5.0 is reflecting ESG, but it's not the goal. The goal is only, or the aim is only one. Of course, I am not speaking about the reporting and so on, which become a legal part of the legislation and so on, which must be done. Despite the fact that's interesting, despite the fact that a report does not change anything. What change is this change of behavior, and that's not what ESG reports or SDG reports deliver. You know, it's very simple. If you look outside of the windows, you will see the result. You know the reduce, reuse, recycle. This is so-called a waste pyramid. Have you ever tried if it works? I did, and it does not. It does not simply because the materials and so on, but it was never intended to work because it was intended to create more waste. Because we have been given, instead of one waste container, we get 5 different colors. So we fill 5. But if there will be only one, it will be enough. It's a psychology. The same with carbon emission trading. It's the biggest crime against the planet. The biggest one, because it was never intended to stop creating the carbon emissions. It just traded. In the Middle Ages exists something which was called indulgences. The churches, you pay the church as a king or someone, you pay the church for indulgences, and you are free of anything negative, so you can kill. And carbon emission trading was exactly like that. No change. The smoke remains in your chimney, but you sell it. But those people who should receive it never receive the money. 80% of the money is lost in the system. And it is just important to open the eyes. What we do, we break the silos. We take down the eye flips, because it's so simple to understand that it is me who must change first before I'm asking anyone else. And if you look on those people who ask you to behave environmentally friendly, you will realize that these do not act environmentally friendly. Do you know where will be the next Earthshot Prize award celebrated? In Brazil. So, and people who will travel from all around the globe to Brazil will create in one day or few days more carbon emissions than the city of Rio de Janeiro in 1 year. So it's easy to understand, but it is important to understand who is the first who must change, and it's me. It's you, is the person which we look at in the mirror. Of course, the business currently prioritizes speed. So there is a lot of things related to the speed improvement. You can use faster cars, you can use different type of transportation. There is the accuracy of delivery, which I don't know how it is in UK, but in Prague, for example, in our capital, the food delivery can happen within 30 minutes, which is quite interesting time. But the biggest change is to understand if really so much goods needs to be transported, because we are overproducing in such a volumes that very few will ever understand before they see it. So the biggest change is to line up. For example, not to see there is a term used, bottleneck. You know, bottleneck is something wrong. The term is used in logistics. And I just came back from Singapore, where I introduced Industry 5.0 to South Asia. And we have there practice using the bottleneck type. And during the practice, I asked the people, why there is a bottleneck on a bottle? Is it to make it worse for you to drink from? No, it's the very opposite. So to understand that a bottleneck, maybe it's not an issue, but indicator. It's a very important task for not only for logistics. So I am educating logistic innovation for 10 years. And I can tell you that one of the biggest change in logistics, which is still not there because the war in Ukraine, will be the airships on the sky, cargo airships, which will be able to carry up to 6,000 tons. And there has been in production in Russia before the war started. Right now, everything stopped, but Boeing is trying, Airbus is trying to do their own. They are sizable. And you know, one truck can carry 20 tons. One airship will be able to carry 6,000. And there will be very big difference to logistics. But this is the future, which probably me and you will see on the sky. Every single one of my speeches is wake-up call, because it delivers not only information, but images. It delivers, because everything what I speak about, I am the one who live it. I took the pictures, I work with them, I work in factories, I reduce the volumes and so on. So the wake-up call, so everyone who will leave the keynote speech will leave with a mindset change from wasteful to wasteless. He and she will immediately apply it in her private life, at home, but they will do it as well in business, in factories, in businesses, which means through this keynote, we are changing the world, because there is the understanding who is responsible, how can I change? It's not just a wake-up call, it's the tool. I'm giving the tool of change. And this is, for example, what Greta was not able to do, because she's same age as my daughter. You know, with 16, she does not know their tools, but I know it because I spent 35 years in a business. So I wake-up call and tool, and immediate application. This is what they can expect from my keynotes.